What is that? Ow! Oh my gosh! Ah! Tell you what, those onions are plummet strong. The heck was that? Today, I have absolutely no idea what I'm cooking, but I can say with absolute certainty it contains 100% house. Because maison is one of the very few French words I remember from school. Yeah, that GCSE French is really gonna come in handy. So the rules are, I am not allowed to translate any of the recipe video. I can look at the ingredients and try to understand what they are, and indeed, I can watch the entire video to ultimately see what we're gonna end up with. So I guess success for me is if it's edible, if it looks fairly close to the final dish. I am not well versed in French, as you've already found out. So if any of you guys that are fluent in French would like to let me know down below, and at any stage, any minor corrections that could be improved, s'il vous plaît, gracias, let's jolly well get going. So this video is by a French creator, or at least I hope it's French. Like after all this, it's definitely not Spanish. His name's Woogie. Wasn't that the name of someone from Something About Mary? So we're making a fer un carbonade flamande 100% maison. So maybe fer one carbon flames with 100% house. Like house, maison, that is 100%, but we are not cooking a house. So what does that mean? Okay, ingredients, 1 kilogram de jus de boeuf. Maybe like beef of the day, de jus, boeuf, definitely beef. 6 tranches de pain de épic. So we've got to use some tranches of epic pain. Oh no, pain is pan, bread. Okay, some epic bread. 75 cl de bière brune. I think that's beer. I don't know if that's blonde or brown. 2 or 2 feuilles de laurier. Absolutely no idea what that is. No idea. So 2 or 2 casses de sucre brun. I'm fairly certain from packaging that sucre is sugar. 1 gros oignon jaune. Oh, I think that's yellow jaune. Because it's something to do with like jaundice and stuff. So maybe a gross yellow onion, a big yellow onion. Okay, I think that's all right. 2 gousset d'al. Absolutely no idea what that is. Moutarde de Dijon. Dijon mustard, definitely. 2 casses de farine. Nope. Je ne sais pas. 20 grams de beurre. Now, I thought that was beer as well, but I think that's butter. And this recipe is French, so it's a strong chance of that. And then finally, sel et poivre. I'm gonna guess, I don't know what poivre means, but I think that might be salt. That's all the ingredients I've got to go by. Let's have a little skim through the video.
Cette vidéo est sponsorisée par Squarespace.
Turns out it's actually sponsored by Space Square, but hey ho, they've reached out to me a fair few times, to be fair.
Top 5, mon top 3. Non, top 4, top 4, top 4.
Top Cat? He definitely just said something about Top Cat.
Après Leonardo DiCaprio et Claire Danes dans Roméo plus Juliette. Et oui, messieurs.
Fairly certain he just mentioned Romeo and Juliet.
Comme vous pouvez le voir, et oui, le beurre va, comme oui, les fameux sucres dont je parlais.
Du fond de veau. Si vous voulez faire un dressage gastro.
Aujourd'hui, on l'ajoute de la carbonade et une montagne de frites croustillantes.
All right, so from those scenes, it looks absolutely gorgeous. He's like browning the meat and the flavor, developing some sort of casserole there. And of course, you've got the chips to go alongside it. It's gonna be brilliant.
Comme toutes les recettes qui datent du Moyen-Âge, on a eu le temps de générer 1 milliard de variantes.
I thought I knew a little bit of French, but the guy is talking so fast, I can't understand a word.
Tennis elbow.
I mean, like, yeah, I'm fairly certain he just did a French dad joke saying tennis elbow about grinding the pepper, but hey, the best thing we're gonna do here is work our way through it step by step. Aujourd'hui, which I think means today, we shall dine on something. He's got a massive tray of beef there. What cut is that? He's holding that up. That is proper thick. We're not off to the greatest start. That is not the steak I bought in the supermarket earlier. I was like, oh, I could get some diced steak. I know that he slices it up later. Last minute switched to a different supermarket and bought some Denver steak. You know, and I've got a kilo of it. I mean, it's nowhere near as thick, but hey, it's steak, right? Hopefully not a massive mistake. All right, yeah, so he's slicing it, as you can see, into some big old chunks, and these steaks came in 2 in a pack, and they are a little thinner. So onto a tray, and he gives it a good old shimmy of salt.
Le Cirque du Soleil, bonsoir.
All right, so he's just like slicing up his onions with an epic knife. I'm just gonna do mine like pretty rough like that. Yeah, I'm gonna match that. I quite like doing discs of garlic, quite therapeutic. Oh, I finished chopping the garlic. I tell you what, those onions are plummet strong. Let's move on. So he now gets out a coquette, which I think is basically just a large casserole dish, and it looks like he's squirting a load of oil in there. Now I've got a bit of a problem. I've got this massive pan that I was planning on using. It's a huge saucepan, but unfortunately, it's not as stubborn as it looks, and it's not oven safe. It's hob safe by all means, and I could do some of the steps in this, but not all of them. That's wet. This. The heck was that? This comes in. This is pretty much a smaller version. I love making things in this, but this can go in the hob, but also importantly, as we'll see in a bit, in the oven. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's olive oil, you know, but just because of like the high smoke point. I'm gonna go vegetable just in case. All right, let's get this warm. Yeah, so we won't need this for a minute. All right. Oh, let's get you nice and warm, mate. Yeah, here we go. This is definitely warming up, but he browns the beef in batches. That is actually a kilo of beef as per the ingredients, but at this point he keeps going and I'm convinced there's a cut of beef on its side here. That is not the same as what I've got. It does look like oxtail, but hey ho, fairly certain some more salt goes in at some point. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes, which I think is well over the cooking time recommended for this steak. But he puts it back on the tray that it came on with the raw meat, so I'm gonna do that too. It's got some lovely charred edges on it though.
Une noisette de beurre.
All right, what the heck? What is that? That looks like a massive block of cheese. Oh no, it's butter. So butter goes in here, okay. It looks like the onions get pushed in. I'm gonna assume the garlic's in there as well. He does this step for a blooming long time, and my onions do look slightly different. However, I think he's just pushing it, letting the butter melt up and soften the onions, and there's specks of the steak going on the onions too. Oh. I mean, right now mine doesn't look quite as good as that, but we're getting there. All right, onions are just finishing off there, looking good. And now, check this out, he gets a beer.
Bonjour. Donc on va le faire avec un Orval.
Okay, I've never opened a beer with a spoon before. Perhaps I never will. Oh, ow! Oh my gosh! Ah! Ah! Oh! Oh, gosh. Oh, that really hurt. Anyhow, put the beer in. In you go, my friend. Oh! All right, that stings really badly, but that smells absolutely incredible. Is that a bag of coffee? Surely not. Oh no, that must be the brown sugar. All right. Yeah, that'll do. So now the beef is going back in. Oh, that was a quick scene. Okay, right, he's getting another beer again with that spoon. I am not doing that. But in it goes. Oh, that does smell really good, to be fair. Oh, what the heck is that? Beef? All right, definitely beef stock. And I've made 2 liters of it, so I'm just gonna cover it quite high here. Oh gosh. Okay, so then the bay leaves are going in very, very quickly, and then he's grinding the pepper, which we saw earlier, and then he does this weird transition thing where there's loads of this going on, and he does the dad joke, right? All right, so in go my bay leaves, all right? And then my tennis elbow scene here, although I actually do have tennis this evening, I have a league match, and I might be going there, smelling of onions and garlic. Yeah, it's bubbling away really nicely here, and I can't remember seeing beef stock on the ingredients list whatsoever. That said, I can't remember seeing garlic either. Right, he's definitely he says something about sauce. He's definitely putting some plain flour in there, I guess to help thicken it up. Okay, we'll just go with it. It smells so good, but I don't want to stir it too much. It might all splash out. We are quite close to the top. Oh gosh, it's gone all like curdly. Look at this. Look, it looks like a load of scrambled egg. Look at that. Oh, sorry, you can't look at that. Je suis désolé for the steamy camera. Oh, you can see it there anyway. Look how it's like chunks of scrambled egg where I can't mix the flour that well. Maybe I try and whisk it a bit. Oh gosh. Oh, this is weird. What? That's gonna ruin my sauce, surely. Maybe it was corn flour, but then he would have made a slurry. I've got to break down those lumps if I can. They're horrendous. Oh, I don't know if that's made it any better. Oh my gosh. Earlier in the video when he had his beef that wasn't cooked, there was definitely some thyme there and I don't know where it's gone. I bought it, so it's just gonna go in. I'm being a bit of a rebel. To be fair, whisking it has got some of those scrambled egg lumps out of it. All right, Woogie, look at this. Woogie, what are you doing, mate? This is amazing, the size of that Dijon mustard jar. He's spreading it onto some bread, which is definitely not this seeded whole grain stuff that I've got. I have got some Dijon though. He's spreading it on there. I do love Dijon. And then in here, face down. Well, it's gonna flavor it, isn't it? But maybe it'll also thicken it too. Oh my gosh, that absolutely honks of Dijon mustard, but in a good way. And now the thyme actually goes in, which I've already done, so I've got another sprig, we'll put that there. Yep, and it looks like the lid goes on. I'm very, very scared. So it now goes in the oven. I love that he's just sort of gone, like that. Everything's gonna be okay. He's not even telling me the temperature. He now goes in to start doing his sponsored bit about Space Square or whatever. We'll just stick it in the oven. All right, I got like no idea about how long I could bake this for. Oh my gosh, this is heavy.
There's that word again.
Oh. I'll tell you though, if it smells as good as it tastes, it might be all right. It looks quite similar. A bit worried about that bread though. He's now making chips, which is probably the most comfortable I feel for this entire recipe. Truly wondering what's gonna happen to that bread. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. Like fairly thick cut chips. Nice and straightforward really. And he's plunging them in cold water. Yep, giving them a dry. and then given them a fry, but crikey, is that beef fat? That is, oh my gosh. Space Square are 100% paying for that. I'm just gonna use oil. Actually, as it turns out, he ends up adding oil in anyway. But what we're doing, woo, is part frying the chips, kind of like thrice cooked chips, although there's no boiling first of all. Yeah, so this is the initial fry. All right, now it's got a skin on it slightly and softened in the inside. Down on a wire rack to rest and cool. Chips go in here to chill. I love how he's like that as it goes in the fridge. And I'm like, how long is it in there for? But now he takes it out of the oven before we do the second fry on the chips. And it looks like that. It looks like it's still simmering on the hob though, so we'll do that. Oh, that looks good. But just before we get it out, I think we can slightly agree that it has gone at least un petit peu ça va. A little bit okay, ça va? I think that means okay. Well, the chips have gone all right. Yeah, I've got my hot oil there ready for the next batch of frying. Oh my gosh. I was about to go, here we go, and then it just attacked me. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh no. Look, oh, the bread's still there. It's definitely thickened. Yeah, I mean, shall I just stir this bread a little bit? Oh, it's all lumpy, isn't it? Oh gosh. I mean, I don't really know what it is, and I apologize to Woogie, but I've done my best. Let's finish the chips. Yeah, let's get these going again. Why am I using a sieve? I've got no excuse for that, sorry. I might stir some water through it because it does look a little bit gloopy and sorry for itself. But from this already, although some of the bread crust is starting to look like the beef, it actually looks kind of edible. Yeah, whatever happens, these chips have come out amazing. Absolutely gorgeous golden color on that. All right, so for one last time, let's get Woogie's video in shot as I spoon mine out too. I think the color is slightly paler in mine. His still looks like there's a considerable amount of gravy and sauce in there. Load of chips in there. Oh, there you go. All of a sudden, that looks quite appetizing, doesn't it? Oh dear me, look at it. Side by side, it does look rather different, doesn't it? However, it could, yes, that is a could with an asterisk, could be still all right. All right, so massive shout out to Woogie who has no idea I'm doing this video, although I did just comment on it. I don't know where to start. Should we have a look at the beef? Oh, it's just tearing apart. Oh, that is so tender and melt in the mouth. Oh, I think this is good. Wow. Okay, the scrambled egg lump of flour thing is not a good thing. I've basically made mini dumplings. Try and avoid that. And I think I got a little bit of crust then. That sauce is phenomenal. I know these chips are good because I just had one off camera, but dunked in that sauce, that is, I still have no idea what it is. A beef mustard casserole of some kind? I might actually try and type these ingredients up in my own words in terms of whatever we've just made. I just call it 100% house. And for me, when I get video ideas, this is what I've had for about 2 years written down on my phone. I thought I'd give it a go. And truth be told, the idea was to have a slightly easy start with my petit peu knowledge de le français. Yeah, so I guess je suis désolé that it has really not helped me whatsoever, but the idea was to start with that and then maybe move to even harder countries where I've got no ingredients list at all, just purely from what I see and the combination of the ingredients, which didn't help a lot. Yeah, there are no tranches of epic pain in here, but there are tranches of soggy bread crust. I bodged it, but we got there and it tastes good. Cheers for watching, guys. See you next time. Look, I've just translated it. It means make 100% homemade Flemish carbonade, which I think is a stew. So, Boston, we did all right, my friend. It didn't contain any house.